you. I think one of the questions I think I have for staff, or maybe for you, Mr. Whitaker, we all have kids, or many of us have kids that are still riding bikes.
So we've got the Hawkweed to the main drive, which the main drag through the subdivision.
We have a community park that's very, very active. The kids go to the park, the parents organize play dates, a couple parents will go and watch, and there'll be 15, 20, 30 kids. All the parents are talking, everybody knows where everybody's at, and kids are riding bikes.
The Hawkweed to the main drive, the main drag through the subdivision.
We all have kids, or many of us have kids that are still riding bikes.
Taylor.
Thank you, Mayor. I kind of am taking this in from a different angle. And when I look at the idea of the gate, the school district said that requested us not to put the gate up because of their ability to safely bus the children.
Speaking of quality of information, our schools may change. The Pulte development will be serviced by elementary, middle, high schools that do not test or rate as high as the current schools serving South Point families. That is 100% false.
A concern I keep hearing is that the connection will allow cut-through traffic to avoid backups at 119th and Route 59. I don't really see how that would happen.
19th Street is one of many roads that will be negatively impacted by the proposed field development. This is a view looking towards the west, with 119th Street going from the bottom of the screen to the top, with many vehicles stacked up, waiting to get to the intersection at Route 59. Route 59 is towards the top of the screen, or the horizon, as it runs from left to right in this view. The grassy parking lot area in the center right of the screen is for the Galaxy Soccer Club. This view shows the intersection of 119th Street at Route 59, with Route 59 again running left to right and 119th Street headed towards the horizon and sunset. The green left turn light for westbound 119th Street legally allows 4 cars to turn left. However, 4 additional cars followed after the green and yellow turn arrows had expired. This view shows the traffic backup on 119th Street. Counting the cars, we find 55 cars in between the intersection at Route 59 and the soccer field parking lot towards the east. The next view is taken further east on 119th Street, where it intersects with South Wolf Drive. The traffic here shows an additional 40 vehicles backed up beyond the original 55 vehicles, creating a total of 95 cars that stretch 3,000 feet in length, or approximately 0.6 of a mile long. A car at the end of the traffic backup will have to wait for at least 4 complete light cycles, or over 9 minutes in duration, just to get to the Route 59 intersection. Drivers often lose their patience waiting over a half mile and 9 minutes in time, and frequently turn around on 119th. All too frequently, cars will pull into oncoming traffic to race ahead to get to the left turn lane over 1,000 feet away. In this one flyover, 6 cars pull into oncoming traffic, creating dangerous conditions. 119th Street currently carries over 11,000 cars per day and has been rated both a C and E quality road. Study projects over 3,000 additional vehicle trips per day, increasing volumes on 119th by over 50%.
The next speaker is Jeremy Mbalabala.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Mbalabala. I live in South Point on Spartina Road. We'll be directly affected by the Hawkweed traffic. So we talked about before, many of us are here to talk about the Polo development, specifically that Hawkweed connection. And our proposal is that that stays closed until the intersection at 119th and 59 is corrected. We're concerned about the cut-through traffic. The councilwoman who rebutted my comments last time in this forum, and the previous speaker, on the basis of inclusivity necessitating road connectivity, let us build a pedestrian path. Nobody drives to the park in the neighborhood. We all walk. I live several hundred yards away from the South Point Park, similar in distance to those who provide reside in the Pulte Polo development. Those people are not going to be excluded by Hawkweed being closed. They're going to be able to walk to the park. Kids don't drive. They ride bicycles or they walk. This is precisely why we are here and will continue to vigorously defend and stand up for the closure of Hawkweed until 119th is fixed. Everyone has acknowledged the root problem here except for the city engineers and the speaker before me. From Mr. Whitaker, multiple council members, the residents will be impacted. Even you acknowledge the problem, Mr. Mayor. You ignored the resulting outcome of good faith dialogue between public and private stakeholders, Pulte and the citizens. And an arbitrary date of 5 years down the road was set. 5 years down the road, thou shalt open the road, in effect kicking the can down the road. That's arbitrary. 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. The idea was keep the road closed until the root problem is fixed. What you see here tonight are citizens that are disappointed that our voice has not been heard, and that still, even up until now, the city refuses to acknowledge the risks our children will face that we want to mitigate. Let this be a warning to those who may choose to make Naperville home, in Pulte Polo fields or otherwise. Can we trust in the process? Can we trust our city leaders to do the right thing? Do we get a say in what happens literally in our own backyards? Or are we beholden to the whims of leaders who acknowledge an issue but refuse to change course to avoid it? And for what? What does the community gain? Doesn't sound responsible to me, Mr. Mayor. Ram the iceberg full steam ahead today, or wait 5 years and then ram the iceberg? Sounds like poor judgment and an avoidance of the actual issue by deferring it to others to solve after your term ends. Why the rush here? Why don't we table annexation until after the election and the new city leaders are sworn in who will bear the responsibility for the decisions that are made here tonight? Why does this have to get done now, this month? The underlying issues are clear, but there is no appetite or commitment to fix 119th. The dialogue has been about responsible city planning. We're talking about an area currently outside of the city, and the vote tonight is to add to it. It seems to me that the responsible city planning process would consider and solve for critical infrastructure needs before annexation and building homes. The current proposal is backwards. Build first, and then kick the can down the road on critical infrastructure.
Speaker's time is up.
Let somebody else deal with that. Vote no on annexation until Hawkweed remains closed. Please, for my children.
To my subdivision as an example, I live in Hobson West. The neighboring neighborhood is West Highlands. There were stub streets that were clearly built to be used to connect our new neighborhood when it was built. For whatever reason, they opted not to connect those stub streets.
Thank you. I think one of the questions I think I have for staff, or maybe for you, Mr. Whitaker, we all have kids, or many of us have kids that are still riding bikes.
So we've got, the Hawkweed to the main drag through the subdivision.
We have a community park that's very, very active. The kids go to the park, the parents organize play dates, a couple parents will go and watch, and there'll be 15, 20, 30 kids. All the parents are talking, everybody knows where everybody's at, and kids are riding bikes.
The Hawkweed to the main drive, which the main drag through the subdivision.
We all have kids, or many of us have kids that are still riding bikes.